Well. Thanks for dropping by in these Learn Flash Basics tutorial. Now, you've come to the right place if you want to learn how to create websites with Flash or games with Flash or applications with Flash. Because we'll be discussing how to do all of that in these series. Now, the first thing to learn is the basics, the very basics of Flash, because if you want to walk, you have to learn how to crawl. If you want to run, you have to learn how to walk, etc., etc. You get it. You guys get it. So, the first things we'll be discussing is the types of files we will be working with. The first file is .fla files. These are files that you edit in Flash, like what objects, the different types of things like text and all that crap. If we were to look at the .swift, this is the final file that you actually put up on the website. You don't put FLA files on the website unless you want someone to edit the code or see, for example, or use it for themselves. .swift files is the file that you actually put on the website, and it's the player for your FLA files. AS files are action script files, and we'll be discussing that later, but we'll be using it. FLV files are video files that you upload. They're a type of video files that you can only use in Flash. You can't use any other files like a QuickTime file or a Windows Media Player file. Only FLV files. So, in our left, on the welcome screen that you get for the first time when you open Flash, is open a recent item. You get to open any items that you've recently worked on. Create new files or files that you can create from scratch. You can create Flash files, ActionScript 3.0 or ActionScript 2.0, and I'm going to tell you right now that we'll be only working with 3.0, not 2.0, because 2.0 is for people who been working with Flash for a while and don't want to switch to 3.0. 3.0 is the new language. It's a standardized language that we'll be using because it's newer and faster than 2.0. Adobe Air lets you create desktop applications, and that's pretty self-explanatory right there. Flash File Mobile lets you create Flash files for mobile devices, and here are the all text-based files we'll be working with later. From the right, you see Create from Template. We have all these different templates to create, but we're not going to use any of them unless we actually want to. You can use this whether you want to or not. We're not going to use this in the series, but you can if you want. It's always there for you to use. Flash Exchange is a plugin. Some things you have to buy and some things you can get for free. The plugins are like additional features that you can add to your Flash for better use, but we won't be using it. We'll just be using the basic Flash that we've been given. Under it is getting started and all these different things for getting started, like the resources, but we won't be looking at that because I'll be explaining everything here for you so you don't have to look at it. And the very under it, you'll see Don't Show Again, and you get this screen, but I'm going to leave it on off because I actually want to see the screen when I actually start. So let's create a new Flash file, ActionScript 3.0. The first thing you see is a stage and a bunch of panels, and the stage is like a camera. If I were to draw a rectangle or square half in and half out and play the movie, you'd see the square that I drew is half in and it's half out, and that's not a kind of a good thing unless you actually want it. The white space is the stage. Whatever is in the white, your user will see. If it's in the gray, your user won't see unless you put it in there. Think of it as a camera. So if we were to look around our Flash, you would see different panels. These little things right here that says Properties, Library, Timeline, and Motion Editor. These are panels. and we can add more panels from the window and click all these different panels that you get. We'll click swatches, and you get the swatches panel, and you can combine panels by dragging it. And if you see a blue borderline, that means it can fuse with the other panels, and it's now fused. If we were to click and drag it out, we can do that. We can put it in between, and you see that we have the swatches panel in between the stage panel and the timeline and motion editor panel. We can drag that out. If we wanted to, we can work with more panels, actions, and we can minimize this. Oops, my bad. We can minimize this. You can click this button right here, and you'll see that we have only the icon, which is kind of convenient. You can click on it, and it will come back, unclick, and it will go away. Let's close that. A new feature in Flash is the workspace, and you get all these different workspace right here. Debugging for people who want to debug. Animators for animators. Developer. And we'll just go back to essentials. If you want to make a new workspace, let's say that we like the toolbar over here, we can click new workspace and create a new workspace. Let's create new. Name it whatever you want, doesn't matter. And we can delete this, and you can only delete or rename workspaces that you created yourself. We're gonna delete it and click yes. Let's say that we left this here and we like it here, but one day we decided that we wanted to go back on this side, so let's click essentials and click reset essentials, and it'll be back where it started. Let's delete this. Now, if we have nothing selected, the properties panel will automatically select the whole document, and we have all these different settings. FPS means frame rate, frames per second. Now what that means is that, think of it as a book. 24.0, it means we'll be reading a book 24 pages per second. That's pretty fast, but in Flash that's pretty basic and average speed. We can increase that or lower that depending on how you want. We'll be working with 24. Sometimes we'll be moving it, sometimes we won't. If we were to click on the size edit, you can change the dimensions of your file. You have adjust 3D perspective angle. We'll always leave this on. Match for the different types of file you want. We're gonna make this by default. The background color, which is gonna be for the background stage, and pixels, rule units, which can be anything you want. We're gonna leave it at pixels always. So you see that we have our stage. It's changed to this kind of blue-green teal. I don't know what you would call it, but you see that it's changed. If we wanted to edit it, the stage color, we would go here and change it, and it would turn back to white. I'll be discussing every single panel here later on in another video, one at a time. But for now, this is the very basics, the very starter point for you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video if you decide to watch. Thanks for watching.